So welcome back. We are buttoning up the concrete form for the foundation for the shop. My name's Corey Rogers. I've been a carpenter for 26 years, so this is what I do, this is what I love. And like in previous videos, this particular way, I'm doing it kind of a different than normal kind of way of doing it. So I'm using my 2x6s that I had, and all these 2x6s, I'm trying to capture as much length as I can with them, because I'm going to end up using this for my framing. So this video, we've already shown videos on the set side of the form, which is the side with the braces. Then we did the rebar, and now we're trying to finish up putting on this button up side. So I've already, as you can see, I've already kind of gotten started because, you know, partly it's been raining a whole bunch, and you know, it's hard to film when it's raining. So some things that I want to show you. So these are strong backs. As you recall, I had to rip those to 2.5 inches instead of leaving it at 3.5 inches. Excuse me, 2 3/4. And these are hairpins. So these are called strong backs. And then these, the 2x6s flat like that, they're called whalers. So in this case, and I'm trying to alternate the outside corner, because I'm going to end up putting a cabin tie. So it's going to be a 2x4 going down here, 2x4 going down there, and helps lock in that. A cabin tie is a 2x4. It's going to go on this side right here, going all the way down, and this side here going all the way down. And then if there's any gaps in it, I'm going to end up putting some feather wedges to kind of tighten it up, and that kind of just locks the corners in together. The corners are the most vulnerable spots of that concrete, that pressure opening it up. You'll probably see me later. I'm going to get some spray foam, and some of the gaps are slightly big just due to the process. So I'm going to put some spray foam in some of them. Small little gaps will be fine. Some of the cement, the cream, the water will come out, but the majority of it will clog after, you know, just a second or two with the rocks. So yeah, this side's looking pretty good. I'd still have to add another 2x4 going around the whole perimeter, and then on other parts of it, I still got to rip some strong backs and finish this side over here. So something else that I did, that I changed from the previous videos, is I went ahead and made the strong backs taller. I had to take one off on the other side, swap them. So what I end up going to be doing, I'm going to put a spreader going from here nailed in to here, because I just was kind of worried about these ties are being so low. There's still enough pressure that I'm worried that it's going to want to snap that that 2 3/4 versus 3.5. So so I'm going to connect from here to there to help just lock that top together. So I still got to do that around there and on that other corner, and we'll get started doing that. So something else that I changed was I added a 2x2 on top of this, and partly because currently from this part of the asphalt to this corner is to where it was gonna be was level. Down by the door, it's gonna be 2 inches taller. However, right in here, since it was so close, I wanted to raise this portion up just a little bit for siding. So the concrete over here that spans the difference will be level, but then sloping that direction, sloping this direction. But I'm just worried about the siding being too close to the ground there. So I added it just in this section here to where the door is going to start, and then a little section over there just to kind of match from the front. So yeah, I'll be doing that to the other side also. Well, it's getting closer. So I got my outside 2x4 on, and you can see I put the 2x2. So this section here will be a little higher than that section over there. And I finished my bulkheads on the end here, and the end right there, making sure there's 6 inches in between for concrete. And I got the 2x4 on the outside going all the way around. Now what I got left to do is this is called a cabin tie. So I'm screwing 2 structural screws in each one of those and each one on the other side. And then I'm also, so I still got that to do there. I got a 5-foot one on each end over there, two of them, and a little guy over on that one. That one's only gonna be like 18 inches tall. And that wall down there is 5 foot tall. Also what I'm doing is putting a spreader in here, just because this tie is so much lower than the top. So I'm wedging a 6-inch board in here, and then putting it's called a spreader. So I'm using 2 screws. These aren't structural screws. I don't really like them so much. It's just something I have though, so I'm making sure to use 2 of them. Yeah, for this, for as much as I can, I'm using screws. Nails are better. It's just they beat them all over the place when I'm using nails. So here I got a little jig. It's a little wide. I'll be putting pressure on each side of these to suck them together, and which this one isn't. I'm trying to beat this 6-inch block in there. So sometimes you gotta loosen your hairpin on the next one below, spreading it, and then I put a spreader in between, and then I can remove those. All right, here's showing you how to do the log cabin. This is like a must. The most vulnerable spot is on the outside corners. So in this case, I'm gonna use a 2x6 just because that's what I had, and rather than cutting up a long 2x4, this was already too light, so I'm gonna use it. I am using structural screws, so which is a good thing. Let's see. So this 2x6 is screwed into these whalers for that pressure to keep it from going this direction. And I'll put one on the opposite side to keep this from going that direction. Put it in there wrong and it's pretty much doing nothing. So if you do it flat like that, it does nothing. So you gotta be thinking of where's that pressure at. Well, that wraps it up for the button-up side of this pour. We're ready to pour, other than some wet settings, some anchor bolts, and I got 2 hold downs, one here, one on that end. I got a place. That's the SSD 24s on this side. That's what the engineer calls for, and SSD 16s, 2 of them on that side. So I think I'm gonna wet set the anchor bolts. They're 10-inch anchor bolts, so I'll make sure I'll mark them on the outside of the forms where those are, and have them in between the studs. So be laying out where the studs are so I can mark that. We'll place those, and then that's it. So kind of recap, got all the spreaders put in. A lot of them are lift up off the form. This portion right here is 1.5 inches higher. Got everything kind of kicked off a little more. The areas where the side dirt is a little lower than the bottom of the stem wall. I put in some forms here and as well as a few on the other side to keep that concrete from just, you know, flowing outward. It's pretty barbaric, but it's gonna do. So, and what else? I think that's about it. So, like all these button-up sides, this is the time you go around, you double check everything, make sure your hairpins are tight, your cabin ties are locked in, and got 2 screws per whaler, and all that sort of thing. So here you can see another form. So I just need to stop that concrete just a little bit so it's not just bubbling out, you know, that sort of thing. That's all that's for. Yeah, so when I go to pour, I'm going to be starting this corner. It's my lowest point, where that step is, out and around, going that direction. That bottom of that footing, that'll eat up just this half. Will probably eat up 1 whole truck, or at least 3/4 of a truck, and then go around from here, going that direction, for just the bottom footing portion, for about a half a truck. It should take about a total of 30 cubic yards of concrete. So, and then I'll come back and I'll do about 2 feet in this corner going all the way around. So it'll be separate lifts. So, you know, I got the footing and about 6 inches of the wall, the bottom. Get that going all the way around. That concrete truck's gonna cycle back, come back, and then I'm gonna pull, while it's doing that, it's kind of stiffening up. I'm gonna pull some of these stakes out, and leaving these ones here that go all the way to the ground. Pull those stakes out, and well, I'll judge it by then, I guess. But I want to be able to pull those stakes out. That's the main thing. So do another lift. This wall is 5 foot, so my plan is probably going to be at least 3 lifts on this this higher wall. So 2 feet going all the way around as much as I can, and then coming back until I'm topped out. So this side winds up being a little taller than this side, but I'm gonna take my trowel and level over the best I can. So that'll be in a separate video. And I got planks for we can walk around out here. I'll have to spread those out a little better, making sure they're nice and solid so nothing breaks when we're walking around out there. So everything's straight, lined, so that's important, and that sort of thing. So hopefully you enjoyed. It's been a process, you know. If this is their first time seeing something like this, it takes a while. And sometimes if this is you're new to this sort of thing, there's a lot more work than you think there is. So at this point, I'm ready to pour. So I'm happy, you know, other than putting the anchor bolts in, there's 4 of them. So we'll get that done and get our permit. And as soon as we get our permit, boom, we're ready to pour. So like always, be safe when you're doing all this sort of thing. Make sure you're wearing your ear protection, your eye protection, gloves, and that sort of thing. Protect yourself so you don't injure yourself. So like always, I'll see you next time on the next one.